Whether it's a power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.
Welcome to Rugby. I'm really excited to be here. Castleford versus St Helens. It's a top of the table clash for Cass. Jonesy, this place has been on fire this year.
It has. There's a lot of Cass fans come out of the woodwork, particularly near where I live anyway, in and around Leeds. I know that Leeds United have finished, they'll all be coming back because I think half the Leeds United fans are from Castleford. But no, do you know what? Castleford deserve it, and the fans they've had a long wait, but they're getting the fruits of their patience because Cass have been outstanding this year. It's going to be an interesting game because obviously Darryl Powell's going to be resting a few players. St Helens smarting off their heavy defeat last time they played here. I'm sure we'll see the best of them in this game, and they've got their new epic coach Simo as well.
He's not only the Saints coach, he's a rugby and fancy. He watched the show last week. Justin, what do you think of the show? Honestly.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, obviously I had a quick chat to you before the Wigan game and I didn't actually know what it was, and you sort of said it's a footy show. So yeah, I watched it during the week and it was really enjoyable.
Do you reckon we've ever got a chance of being like the footy show over in Australia?
Yeah. If they win the Logies Award back home in Australia, you guys will win it here for sure.
Yeah, I'll do for me. You must have had a good week in the town after beating Wigan.
Yeah, no, it's always good. Obviously, normally when I take my kids down to school, it's everyone's buzzing for you, backslapping you. But it's been half term this week, so I've been just trying to walk around with my dog, trying to get backslapped. But no, I'm only joking. But no. So look, end of the day, it was a close game, and Wigan maybe felt that we pinched their pocket. But again, I go back to what I just said earlier about the belief and the excitement that we've got going again for one another. So, thankfully we had enough in us last week to win.
We're playing some real good rugby, and to come into the side when we're on a winning form, it makes it a lot easier, and I'm absolutely loving it out there. Everyone's working hard for each other, and it's showing with results that we're getting. It's just, everyone's sticking together, and we've got something special this year.
Everyone needs a chance, and today's is a few young boys' chances. We got Gil, we got Truey making their debuts, so it's going to be a big challenge for them, but it's also going to be an exciting time. So hopefully we can send them home happy, and also with the other boys that are stepping in for their first start. So it's also a big occasion for a lot of players. So hopefully we get the job done for them.
You look at yourselves now, you realise you've got a very good team, you've got a very good squad. Yeah. It must be the goal to get at least that fourth spot.
Yeah, I think the where we're at the minute is not trying to look too far in front. It's just to look, who we've got next, and that's Cass. So, if we do that and concentrate on each game, I think we will climb the ladder. But it's, that top four is a long way away yet. We just need to keep improving, keep getting better, and I think, like you mentioned, we've got the squad to really, do something, well this year, and hopefully, get to Old Trafford. I think, that focus now is on the league. We're out the cup, so our main focus is the league.
And any news when Ben Barber's going to be available?
He's actually sides in the grand final tonight back in the rugby. He's obviously not in the 15 playing, but they're in their grand final tonight in France. So he'll be here, hopefully back into next week, which would be great.
Mate, absolutely outstanding. Have a great game today, mate. Jonesy, it's time for you now to go over and catch up with the big boss man here, Darryl Powell, someone you know really well. You played with him, you've been coached by him. What kind of a bloke is he?
He's very good, and when you're talking about careers, I think his career as a coach has been epic. He started off at Leeds, spent a lot of time at Featherstone, and now the fruits of his labour. I know I talk a lot about it biblically, but you've got to plant a seed, you've got to allow it to grow, you've got to nourish it, and Darryl Powell is a blossoming tree right now as a coach, and you can see that manifest itself in his team. Let's go over and let Jonesy speak to Darryl Powell. I'm here with Darryl Powell, the Castleford Tigers coach. Darryl, it's always good to have you on Rugby, so thanks very much for your time. Really interesting fixture today in the sense that Cass, flying high at top of the league, having a great time of it in 2017, great support over there, all coming out of the woodwork, the Cass fans, particularly down near where I live. And we've got a Cass team that's going to be going out there pretty inexperienced because you've decided to rest a few key players following this second Easter period where we've played essentially 3 games inside of a week. What was your decision behind that?
Well, first of all, I wanted to get those 2 wins last week over that crazy period. The second one that we've had in 5 weeks. So that was important. And then the meters and the impacts have been mounting up on some of our key players, the amount of work that they've been doing. So I felt it was important for the longevity of our season to give a few of the boys a little bit of a breather. Some of these players have also had to travel to the other side of the world to play in a international game. So for me, I'm trying to look after the boys and also give opportunity to a few other players.
Absolutely.
Obviously there's another issue in there that there's 2 teams being given leave on that weekend not to play games, so that's been a significant decision from the RFL that has dumbfounded me a little bit, to be honest. It's created an unbalanced competition on top of the Magic weekend that really shouldn't be in there, so it's disappointing, but it is what it is. We'll crack on and get on with it. But I felt like the players and coaches have got very little voice at the moment in the game, and I think it's pretty important that they get a voice, and that there should be a forum for people to speak about what they need to speak about. Otherwise, we're led by people who sometimes, it seems, don't have the best interests of the key people in the game at heart. I've had medical people jumping all over me for the last 3 or 4 weeks saying, look, we're going to need to give these boys a breather, and it goes against pretty much every competitive fibre in my body to do it. But for what we've got faced this year, in 2014 we were 1 game away from winning the league leaders shield. We were busted. We'd played in the Challenge Cup final against you guys, and we didn't have anything left. And the experience of that has really forced where we are at the moment.
I don't disagree with you, Dal, not for 1 minute, and I say this, right, bearing in mind the fact that I've played 3 games and I've played 70 minutes in middle for all 3 games in this last week, and the way I managed to get through it is by kidding myself that it's going to war, and our minds, what our mind believes, our body manifests. And so I go in there and I talk to somebody like yourself who's been through some tough years. I'm sure I could wind back the clock and look at the game that you played in, and you've probably done this multiple times. You've played an immense amount of games over the course of your career. And sometimes I wonder whether the fact that we do moan about it a fair bit or make such a big hype about it, there's a lot of coaches come out and said something that it makes it actually worse than what it is. And I just went out there and think, you know what, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to let the fact that I've got to do these games affect the way I try and play. And of course it does. But isn't there something in there for just having that tenacity to push through it regardless?
Yeah, look, I've never complained about Easter. You can look through anything in my time as a coach. Easter, no issue at all, right? Absolutely no problem. It's part of the fabric of the sport. So I've got no problem with that. To put a second one in there and then to give a competitive advantage to a team like St Helens is absolutely ridiculous. So it's built up really to being a situation that I felt I needed to speak about. So look, I played 2 games on the same day in Australia. I've played test matches the day after.
There you go.
So there's no issue doing it. But we're also talking about a wider problem. We're talking about the quality of our competition. So it's all right saying you can do it. You can do it. But what's the quality look like the week after? We're talking about wanting our sport to be outstanding on every single time the players take the field. Well, good luck with that if you're going to do this to players on a consistent basis. So I agree with you, and I always say, look, boys, just crack on and get on with this. But ultimately, it's absolutely crucial that we get the quality in our competition right. Otherwise, you've got people jumping up and down saying the Aussies are so much better than us. When you look at their competition, they play fewer games, and around state of origin time, they do this. But they don't have to put your whole team out there on a Friday and on a Monday and then back up the next week and then people complain about the quality. So for me, it's about as much about that and looking at it from a wider perspective as whether players can do it or not, because clearly they can. They're tough old boys.
Now, this come about because of the international training camp that never happened, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but the suggestion that didn't happen because some of the clubs, whether that be the admins or the coaches, didn't quite agree and buy into it. So there is a sense that the game's got to be better there as well in the club's own responsibility, because at the end of the day, that was down to preservation, not wanting the players to go on this camp. And now we find ourselves on the complete opposite end of that stick, trying to get self-preservation by not playing in the resulting consequence of the camp in the first place.
Obviously, it's a World Cup year, so there's some things done there, and Wayne Bennett put his he put his stipulations down on the way he wanted it to look, regardless of what happens to our competition. And I think that was the major issue at the start. You know, the RFL went big time to get Wayne, understandably. You know, he's a superb coach and has been for many years. Yep. But then what he did was he dictated the way that our competition should look, and that should not have happened. Right. And then obviously then some of the clubs, apparently, I don't know, but they dictated that the camp would then be cancelled. So it's a bit of a schmozzle for me. You know, our competition's got to come first, and unfortunately it's not been great, and we need to learn lessons from it. Yep. Make sure it doesn't happen to us again, and we look to make our competition comparable with the NRL, and you have to look after your players to make that happen. So hopefully lessons will be learned, and next year we won't have to go through this scenario where you're playing two of the back-to-backs over Friday, Monday, because it's not doable, and then maintain the quality of our competition.
Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry. Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.
Welcome back to part 2 here, Rugby. The scene set, the boys about to come out. Wagger, you pumped for Cass?
I'm pumped, mate. Look at the crowd. It's going to be awesome down the lane.
Jonesy, you're on you're behind enemy lines right now. How does it feel?
Well, it's really interesting. The Saints players have just come out, and it was like really timid boo-boo. When these come out, it's
that's a field, Jonesy.
And it's hard coming to a Cass game with 2 Cass fans as well. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Right now, we're going to go over and meet a real Castleford legend, and he's going to pick his 1 to 13 of the best players he's ever coached. That is Mal Rayleigh.
This is Malcolm Reilly. This is the best ever team I've ever coached. Starting off at fullback, difficult to go by Robbie O'Davis. I coached him at Newcastle Knights. Outstanding finisher, Robbie, tenacious guy, never gave in. But at Great Britain, I coached a guy called Phil Ford, a Welsh kid, who was also very elusive and played a major part in one of our big wins against Australia. I think we beat them 33-10. Phil was difficult to tackle because he was so elusive, but I'd have to go with Robbie O'Davis from a consistency point of view. On the wing, it was very difficult to go by Martin Afire. He was along the lines of Ken Irvine. He'd do even time. I think he did even time for 100 metres. So he'd no difficulty tackling people from behind. His strength was his finishing and try scoring. Once again, if he got in an open space, you just put the glasses down, say bye-bye to him, because you know, he was scoring a try. In the centre, it'd be difficult to go past Matthew Gidley, who played for the Newcastle Knights but came over on a season or 2 with St Helens. Matthew had great anticipation, terrific football brain, awareness. Alternately, the guy I played with and coached at Castleford, John Joyner, was an outstanding finisher, great leader of men. And in the 2, I'd have to say I'd go with John Joyner. The other centre I would have to consider would be Keith Senior and Paul Newlove. Keith was a very robust, huge guy to handle. He was very difficult to tackle, run straight lines, and you know, he'd invariably knock 2 or 3 players off on the way to the try line. But Paul Newlove, who I coached for Great Britain, was also an outstanding centre, played for Featherstone Rovers, good finisher, but in the 2 I'd probably pick Keith Senior. On the other wing, it'd be difficult to go past Adam McDougall, who I coached at the Newcastle Knights. His nickname was Mad Dog, and he didn't get that for no reason. He was just crazy and very difficult to tackle. But I'd have to throw in also Jason Robinson, who I coached with Great Britain. Jason was he could change direction on a sixpence, terrific finisher. So, you know, for the wingers would be Ofaya and Robinson. The number 6 I coached at international level, and for Newcastle, of course. Matthew Johns was an outstanding player. Great vision, kicking game. He complemented his brother at that position. They worked together extremely well. But the player I would have to select as my best number 6 I've coached would be Gary Schofield. Gary had everything. I remember in test matches against Australia and particularly New Zealand at Auckland, he kept throwing dummies and the New Zealand side kept taking them, and he made a great partnership with Bobby Goulding at the time. That was in 1990. So my number 6, I would have to go with Gary Schofield. Moving on to number 7, this is even more difficult. Oh, it's not actually, because when I consider I played with Keith Epworth, who was, as I've mentioned before, very tenacious, defensive player, great runner of the ball, but also Andy Gregory, who I coached with Great Britain, was also in those same lines. Andy's organisational skills for Wigan was fantastic, and the same with the Great Britain when he played international football. But the one player I go for at number 7, and I think he's the best player I've ever had the pleasure to coach, would have to be Andrew Johns. He'd got everything going for him. He was over 90 kgs. He could sit back row forwards on the no problem at all. Great passing game, kicking game, supervision. He was just a magnificent player, and probably the best player I've ever been involved with. He'd have to be my best ever number 7. At number 8, it's not a difficult choice really. I played with Dennis Hartley, and I've the utmost respect for Dennis. He looked after me when I first came into the game. Tough, uncompromising, cruel at times. The game's changed dramatically since then. But the other forward who I rate so highly in that same position is Paul Harrigan, the chief. And Paul captained the Newcastle side that I coached. And he would put his body on the line week in, week out. He used to knock himself out. And I had to actually have words with him about trying to use footwork at the line, because his art was bigger than you'd ever imagine. So he'd have to go down in my books as the best number 8 I've ever coached. From an Ucker's perspective, number 9, there's 2 guys here contrasting so greatly. One was ruthless, Tony Fisher, and I played international with him as well as coached him. But the player I would select at number 9 would be Kevin Beardmore. Now, Kevin was a little bit like his brother Bob. His support play was first class. He had a great understanding with his brother. Offensively, he was as good as I've seen from that position. Great service, very dangerous from acting half-back. And I couldn't go by Kevin Beardmore for my number 9. My number 10 would be a split between 3 very good forwards. Kelvin Skurrit, who I coached at international level. Kelvin was ruthless. He was very direct with his running and really enthusiastic from that position. Tough player and utmost respect for him. Also Lee Crooks, who I coached at the same time. Lee was a little bit different a player than Kelvin. Kelvin was more robust. Lee was a bit more sophisticated with his ball handling, second phase play, and direction, passing game. But they were both outstanding players. But the one player I would go for in my pack would be Kevin Ward. And Kevin was awesome. I mean, I got Kevin from Stanley Rangers as a 19-year-old at his back row forward, and he got on the weights and he just pumped the iron and grew into a 17-stone awesome forward with great second phase plays, offload the ball all the time, did his work. So I'd have to go for Kevin Ward as my best number 10. Okay, for my second row, position, the best ever player I coached. It's not an easy one. I'm going to mention 4 people to start off with. Adam Muir, who I coached at the Newcastle Knights, and Mark Glanville, who I also coached there, and he played at Leeds. And Mike Gregory, a Warrington player. I coached Mike for the Great Britain side, along with Dennis Betts, who played for Wigan. It's a very difficult choice to make. Select two from these 4. I'd have to go with Adam Muir from the Newcastle Knights. Adam was a big, robust back row forward, great hands, offloading skills, good footwork, and I'd go for Dennis Betts as the other second row forward. Dennis, I coached at Great Britain level, a formidable back rower, great running game, and they would have complemented each other really well. The loose forward, lock forward, as they call it in Australia, would also be a very difficult position to choose. First of all, Steve Norton, who I coached at Castleford. Steve was very elusive, a great passing game, vision, but I'd have to move on to Ellery Hanley, who I coached at Great Britain level. Ellery and I didn't always see eye to eye over a few issues, but I can't go past him. The guy was so tenacious. He was so tough and unstoppable at times. Mentally, he was one of the most mentally toughest players I've come across, and he would be in the top 3 ever best players I've coached. And that's the 1 to 13 best players I've ever coached.
Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry. Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.
Welcome back to part 3 here, Rugby. I'm joined by Cassie's superfan. Keenan, what do you reckon to the team? It's half-time, mate.
It's not that bad. I mean, it's 12-4. We've put second team out, give all players a rest. It's not about the win today, it's about rest at season.
You got faith in Powler?
We're on our way to Old Trafford, we're on our way.
Keegan, you must be really happy with Kieran Gill scoring on his debut.
I mean, yeah, it's good confidence builder, you know what I mean?
Mate, right now it's time to go over to the noisy neighbours, Wakefield Trinity, who are doing a great job this season. Are you surprised at how good Wakefield are doing?
I mean, they're local rivals, but I want them to do well because it's good to see a mix in the top 4.
I love that. They're currently up at Salford. Don't know what the game's going to finish, obviously, but this is their Wakefield teammates with Danny Kermond and Jacob Miller.
Danny Kermond, Captain Kermo, second rower, Wakefield Trinity.
Jacob Miller, halfback, nickname's Milky.
I'll put some energy into it. There's some really bad ones, yeah. Top probably, yeah. Me and you, yeah. We're killing it on a daily basis. Woody's all right, yeah.
He'd be third.
Finney's doing it for the dads.
Yeah.
And then the coaches are horrendous. The coaches' game day attire, the combination of bootcut jeans and shoes is just, it's way out there.
Plenty of Ric Flairs going on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely walks. Walks paid, I think it was 500 quid for a nutritionist privately a couple of years back when Brian Smith were here, and managed to put another 2 kilos on.
Not you. If you far out, you've been out.
I'm obsessed with being early. I'm like terrified of being late. So if I'm picking Milky up, I'm normally like an hour before, and he'll be like, "Oh no, give me another half an hour." I'm like, "Oh, I just stress so much about being late."
Yeah, I just know you were coming at me there.
Yeah, I just thought you were going to come straight at me.
Finny. Hands down.
Finny loves rugby, like, and John. Now John's here. John loves rugby as well, don't he, John Keir? So they have some great chats as well. You see them often having.
Yeah, just pure RL chat.
Yeah, love rugby league.
Me. Me or you.
Yeah. Anakin's had a few fights, hasn't he? A few white collar boxing fights.
Ingy?
Yeah, Ingy's a bit of a dark horse. Anakin started going to boxercise, didn't he? And got a hat that said boxer on, like he needed everyone to know. So I'd say Anakin just because he's got a hat that says boxer.
Yeah, have to be him. Oh, hands down him.
Nah.
Hands down.
No, we've got someone who's taken over, mate.
Wow, mate.
Dave is worse than me.
I don't know. Mate, you can't go anywhere with him without it. Just, oh, Danny! Oh, Danny!
There's a few actually that take ages.
Yeah.
Tom Johnson's very long in there.
Yeah, he's extremely long in the shower.
Yeah, he had an op last week and he showed us how long he was going to be in the shower through his paper pants, and it was ridiculous. Not me. Wow. I am king of the smoke bomb. I can get away from anywhere without people seeing me.
12 o'clock comes, he's long gone.
Cinderella.
Last man standing.
Would he?
Yeah, would
Kyle Wood could go out on his own and dance the night away. Like, he's just not affected by who he's with or anything. Once he gets out and he's excited, he's gone. He'll dance all night on his own. So yeah, Woody.
Have to be Woody.
I'm joined by Castleford Tigers inform hooker Paul McShane. How you feeling, Macca?
I'm good, Wag, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Macca. So, how are you feeling? Obviously, being drafted into the elite performance squad for England must be a massive achievement.
Yeah, mate. I'm chuffed to bits. You know, it probably makes it easier playing on the side that I am at the minute. You know, we're doing well, and I'm just a small part of that team, really. So, hopefully, we can continue building.
So, tell us a little bit about how you found out. Did you get a letter? Did they come down and see it? What happens when you are selected and drafted in? How do they announce it to you?
Well, we ended up playing Widnes the Friday before squad got announced, and Dennis Betts gave me a bit of an heads up then, and from there we got an email about meeting times, etc.
That's awesome. What do you put your form down to, Macca? Because obviously I'm a fellow hooker, played against you a lot of times. Big fan of yours, Macca. Great kicking game. You can get the boys around the field. So what do you put it down to this year?
Just having Pauli having a bit of faith in me, you know, giving me the confidence to play my natural game. And like I said earlier, I'm playing in a great side at the minute. As Pac's great, and we've got a great backs as well. So it's also having a good understanding on how Pauli wants to play. I'm a bit of a rugby nerd, so.
Today's game, you've had 2 double headers. It's been a tough period, but Pauli's decided to rotate the squad. How do you feel on that?
Yeah, mate, like you say, it's tough, but at the end of the day, we've just got to deal with what we can deal with, and that's playing week in, week out. And this week, a couple of young lads are going to get a crack at it, and hopefully they can step up and put a marker down to Pauli.
I cannot interview you without mentioning Ads. So what's happening with Ads? Because I saw one interview, you said he just bruised his shin.
Yeah, I was really worried during game about him, like it goes down screaming and that, and I thought, oh, that's it, he's done. But yeah, come back in. He was supposed to play. I was supposed to be rested, but because he's got a bruised shin, I'm playing this week, which I don't mind.
How's this preparation? Little preparation you've had affected you this week? Because Saints have had a really long week, haven't they, compared to you guys having a short turnaround again?
Yeah, they have, mate, but we only played them a couple of weeks back, so they've changed a few things on how they're playing, but I think they're playing with a bit of confidence now. The forward pack's getting them forward, and Roby's playing well out of 9, so if our forwards can match them and nullify that, then we stand a decent chance.
No worries. Congrats again, Mac.
Cheers, Wag.
Thank you very
Cheers,
much.
mate.
Cheers, Mac.
He's not only England's superstar halfback, he's not only the leader of the Castleford Tigers, but you're a horse racing mogul as well, Gailey. Let's start with the horses.
Yeah, just Danny Maguire, myself, my rugby agent Craig Harrison, and a couple of others just got involved. Last year we decided to put a few quid in and get an horse, and now we've ended up with 6. So it's going well, to be honest. We had a good winner of a day and looks quite exciting. So no, I just enjoy it. It's good to get away from rugby sometimes, and it gets your mind off rugby, which I think is sometimes good.
Mate, talking to you rugby, it's been a fantastic season on the field for the Castleford Tigers. Obviously as well, cementing your place, probably England's scrum half now as well, kicker. It's been an important season for you, and could it have gone any better, really?
Obviously with Castleford to start with, we've been outstanding. We knew pre-season we've got a good side, and it's just good to finally kick on and do something, really. I think we've still got the most important part of the season to come. We've got ourselves in that good position now. We've got to kick on and hopefully cement ourselves and get some silverware down here.
Mate, we've got to think it's in those big games. Now, you've beaten Leeds a couple of times already this year, and Jonesy, he won't have me saying on camera, he's behind camera. He always says, well, see what happens when they get to some big games, because we've been there and they have. Yeah. And it is true, those semi-finals, those finals, it's going to be a big test, and you're confident you're going to come through it?
Definitely, mate. I mean, like as Johnny said, you've got to test yourself in them big games, and I'm confident in the boys' ability in there. We've got a great side, and I'm looking forward to that challenge, to be honest.
Mate, would you say Cass is your happy place now? Could you ever see yourself? You've probably got, realistically, one big contract left or one big move left. Would you we're talking NRL, a lot of people looking at maybe going over there, because you are hot property now after this World Cup. Everyone's going to want a piece of Luke Gale. Are you going to be here long term?
I've signed a long-term deal.
Yeah.
I love playing my footy down here.
The fans love you, don't they? They full on love you.
I think when you're happy, you play your best rugby. And you can see a bunch of guys in there who are happy and enjoying the rugby. It shows out there. So Cass is my happy place, and like you say, the fans are outstanding, and I just love coming here and love playing rugby. Hopefully
you'll be leading them out into the new stadium, which is not too far away either.
Yeah, I don't know when that is, to be honest. They've been saying it a couple of years now. Hopefully that kicks on soon, and like you say, I think we deserve a new stadium, and on the pitch we keep building, so off the pitch let's build as well.
Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry. Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.
What happened? Did somebody steal your rings?
What do you mean?
Have they held them hostage, something like that?
Why? What do you mean?
When you coming back? What are you doing?
I don't think I'll be coming back, mate, I'm afraid.
What, it's real?
It is real, yeah, it's not a dream.
But I thought somebody had, like, nicked your rings or something, or holding something hostage.
No, it was just, I think it was just the time to move on, I think, mate.
I remember when we went down to Coventry with Simo, and it was funny, best because all the lads were like, oh, Zach Hardick, could have got a cast. I went, no chance, got like, funny lad, you mad, what do you want? And I thought, I'm sure you're not coming.
No.
Oh, mate. Do you miss it?
Yeah, I've got some great mates there, some wonderful memories, so it's going to be a big part of my life, so I'll always, have a good connection with Leeds, and especially you, mate.
Mate, I thought it was like last week when we played at Magic Weekend a few weeks ago, and you gave me that stick. You were like abusing me for lying on. I gave a penalty away. I just played along with it. I thought, oh, go on, Zach, you're all right, mate. Give a penalty. If I'd have known that you were real, I'd have thrown for you.
You've gone for me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't then. I'm glad you thought it was a joke. Someone would like to say it one off you, mate. But no, it's you're probably one of the worst on the pitch.
I know. Well, it's.
But I like that.
That's why I'm on.
I like that. That's
why I'm still going. And
yeah, I think that's brilliant though.
But Andy Lynch, right? He's got it on me. Now there's not many players that are still playing from '90s, and I want to be last man standing. Got rid of Leon Price. He's gone.
He's gone.
Ben Westwood, hopefully, probably gone soon. All right. Gaz Ellis, I like Gaz, but he just will not give it in. But what's the key? What's the secret with Andy Lynch?
He's just really determined, isn't he? He just wants to be, like you say, the last man standing. You know, that he wants to get to that pinnacle of I've had the most games, and I don't know how he feels on the morning, because sometimes I get up and I've got, my back's aching, my knees are hurting me. He's still going, so it's a credit to himself. But I don't know how he's doing it.
I'm gonna get you to slip something in his tea, something like that. But we'll leave that now. To be fair though, mate, you are playing out your skin. You're playing some great rugby. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's great. Everyone's enjoying each other. I think everyone's just playing off each other. You know yourself, and you've got a good group of players who, some are good at one thing, others good at others, and it's all just gelled into, the team just playing well at the moment. So it's a joy to be training every day, learning new things, new moves. Daryl's philosophy on how he wants to attack, how he wants to defend, and then to put it into practice and to go out there and to win the game when you play. So it's just a real joy at the moment.
What are fans like? So I've played here a few times. I remember one at this ones when we beat, I think we beat Melbourne in World Cup Challenge, and it was like awesome, like top at World Champions. We come here to Cass week after, peeing it down with rain. It was like being in hell. There's thunderstorms and floodlights were falling off at stand and all sorts of carrying on. Just getting hammered behind. You must have been hammered a few times in a Leeds shirt, but are they right behind you now?
That was one of the things I thought, wow, how they're going to take me from probably hating me when I was at Leeds to trying to support him. So I was thinking, how is this going to work? And to be fair, from day one they've been real supportive, chanting my name and stuff like that. It's been real good, and I've been trying to show that I'm really thankful by trying to play well. So, but no, they've been real good, and having played against them, they're nasty sometimes, aren't they? They can be nasty, and that's what they're just loyal. That's all you can say about them. They're just really loyal. Whether they're winning or losing, they're right behind the team, and it seems to be that for the last few years, and it just keeps getting. As the team's improving, the support's getting better.
Last question. You're not playing, obviously. Today's rested a few, and he's taking a bit of a gamble, but you've got a bit of a cushion there as well. Zach Hardy can run around all day, every day, surely. Are you really that bothered about the 3 games in a week, or is it a smart thing for you to do?
For me personally, I'm not. It's probably because of my age, and I'm quite lucky, touch wood, with injuries. But I can see where, the guys who, the 31, 32, and it probably does hurt your body, don't it, mate? Obviously, you'll know, being up there in the late 30s. But no, it's all right for the younger guys, and the older guys, it's really hard. But I reckon if you ask a lot of players, if you could just play, that'd be the best thing ever.
Your dream, wouldn't it?
Well, that's it. You have a rest day, you have a last run, which is 20 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on which team you play for, and then you play the day after. So for me, that's perfect. But for a lot of the guys, it can be bad, because obviously they pick up injuries, and some of those injuries are quite serious, and so there's good and bad to it all. But I'm alright with it.
Zachy lad, I miss you. I still love you.
Good,
if you wanna come back, I'll sort it out, mate. I'll sort it out.
Lynchy, your nose is busted. You're an old war horse, but is that one of the toughest games you've played in?
Oh, that was outstanding. That I don't think nobody gave us a chance before that game, and we said before the game there's something there for everybody to prove people wrong. And I thought we stood up today, and they were a tough Saints team, and they came at us, but we stayed there and got the 2 points.
Those lads came in to prove a point to now your squad is deep, that you have got a squad to win a championship, to win a Challenge Cup, because it's a squad game, rugby league.
Yeah, I think that's what Pauli and the coaching staff have done for a few years now. They've built a great squad up, and it just shows the strength and depth of our squad. And we tested it today, so we've come through the other side, so it's onwards and upwards for now.
The squad you've put together with Daryl, it runs deep.
Very deep. The culture of the club runs deep as well now. And I must say, I've never been as proud as I have been today.
Is that right?
That's right.
Is this your favourite performance of the season so far?
This is my favourite performance, end of.
Over at Moon, especially with second half. I was a bit poor at first half. I was a bit embarrassed at half time, but we pulled it back, and we said at half time, we can win this, and it showed. That last 30 minutes were us best, weren't we? And it was good to get a try in front of home fans again. So yeah.
Mate, how good are these fans?
Listen to them. Amazing art. They're so loud. Proper helps you through the game. So yeah, I loved it today.
Credit to our middle boys. A lot of them did long minutes and it's tough in there as opposed to it out on wings. So, but yeah, they dealt with it performance good and they've got some big strong boys, but we dealt with them well.
Let's go to work. Let's go to work.
UK Red, 5 security fan camp this week. Casford St Helens, joined by
Dean Martin.
Dean Martin, what do you reckon to today's game? Justin Holbrook, been outstanding since he's come on board as coach. Real tough game against a young Cass side, what would you say?
Well, I think they did all right first half, but fair play to Cass. They've got it going.
There'll be loads more coming, yeah, anyway. Do an interview, boys. I'm joined by two very happy Cass Tigers fans. So, today's game against St Helens, Pauli played a young side. Who were you impressed by?
I thought JSL was pretty good. I thought Ben Roberts was a bit poor on the ball, but I think we did all right considering we only had half the team out.
I'll try and round some nutters up. That's the right picture.
I've drawn that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Come here. I'll just do this interview, Uncle Kev. Right. I'm joined by Casford Tigers artist. Must be a Jesse Senella Fields. What a picture. Look at that, guys.
Wagger could never do
He was,
against St Helens.
no, he was my man of the match today. What are yours? It's been immense, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing.
He's a fan favourite, you can tell every time.
He's the nicest guy going, yeah.
Alright, come here. I'll wait for him, Uncle Kev. I'll get you on then. Hey, yo! He's back as well, Keegan. You must be absolutely.
That was a phenomenal performance.
Did you do the team talk at half time?
I was out on field with you, I was.
Yeah, you were out on field buzzing it up. I've got to wait for him, Uncle Kev. We'll get you on at end. This is me, Uncle Kev. This is why I played at Cass and support Cass. Clark, you round them up. I need Sweet Caroline singing. Come on, Sweet Caroline, come on. I can't sing it. I need numbers. Right, I'm joined by the main man. I met this legend at the Cass Wigan game and I loved his naughty trainers. And he's done me a deal. I've swapped my Adidas, which are down there, and look at them bad boys. Look at them. He's going to sign them up for me.
Yeah, you can have them, yeah.
Oh, I'm buzzing. I've met you again. These are absolute. Look at tail up back. Look at that. Just look at it. Let's have a chat about the game, Uncle Kev. You're the reason I'm a Cass Tiger fan and I played for Cass. Used to take me home and away. Yeah. Who's your favourite ever Cass player?
I'd say. It's hard to choose, isn't it?
Hard to choose? What about me, Uncle Kev? Hard to choose. I must be your best ever favourite Cass player.
Yeah.
No, but who impressed you? How many times did you say, get on side today?
15, I counted.
15 times. 15. This guy, that's all he ever says, just get on side, just get on side. Right, father-in-law, I love you, let's get it close.
Well, let's just say
I love him.
that the babysitting rates have just doubled.
Oh, he's pricing it up. Can I still be married to your daughter after today?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Waggy, you're a legend.
I sleep all day. Why do I want to work all day when I can't make
Whether it's a power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.